Today we are going to talk about my favorite action movie of all time, The Die Hard. Not only is The Die Hard one of the greatest action movie ever made, but its simplistic formula has been replicated by many movies that followed. Well, all you need is an antagonist in a wrong place at a wrong time when bad people are about to take over. Sounds easy, but Die Hard has proven a difficult act to follow. However, there are many movies that successfully adapted the genre or maybe bettered it. Let's have a look at these examples. Air Force One is a Harrison Ford starrer that essentially is a diehard on a plane. The hero is not an ordinary person but the President of United States who is also a veteran who is forced into a combat when group of Soviet radicals hijack Air Force One with him and his family on board. Air Force One is a brilliant watch for action lovers not just because of the great writing but also because of the actors involved. Under Siege is another die-hard-like action thriller by much forgotten Steven Seagal. Seagal plays Cassie Rayback, an ex-Navy SEAL turned cook who ends up taking on a group of terrorists hijacking a US battleship. Sounds interesting, but the movie impressive star cast makes it even more interesting with double villain played by Tommy Lee Jones and Gary Busey, who both leads the bad guy to the fine effect in this fun martial art based effort. Many, including myself, consider Under Siege at par if not better than Die Hard. Well, the only difference between The Rock and Die Hard is instead of being a one-man army action flick, there is a two-man army. This Michael Bay directed movie is set in Alcatraz prison and stars my all-time favorite Nicolas Cage and Sean Connery. They have a mission to save a group of hostages and the threat of missile attack on San Francisco by a group of Rouge Marines. The Rock is very similar to Die Hard in many ways, but it goes beyond by making the scope feel much bigger and action exhilarating. Love him or hate him, but Nicolas Cage has done some great action movies in the 90s. Conair is one of them, which is both amazing and crazy at the same time. Cage plays the role of a Cameron Poe who is soon to be released from prison but happened to share a flight home with some crazy inmates. The criminals take over the flight, prompting Cage into action. The movie has some craziest action sequence which I have never ever seen before. When you mix the formula of Die Hard with a teen flick, you get Toy Stories. Sounds fun? You're right, it's fun action drama about an all-male boarding school that ends up being taken over by Colombians mercenaries. Toy Stories is an underrated and forgotten little thriller depicting a kids versus bad guy situation that applied the Die Hard blueprint to a teen movie in the same vein as The Goonies. All in all, a fun time. Die Hard 2 director took a John McClane type hero to the hills in this action thriller called Cliffhanger. The movie stars Sylvester Stallone, who plays a mountain climber named Gabe Walker, who springs into action when a group of international thieves crash land on the snowy mountain tops. Cliffhanger is a lot of fun and has plenty of action and great performances to overcome its derivative elements. Die Hard in an NHL game sounds interesting, and that's the premise of the Jean-Claude Van Damme starrer Sudden Death. Van Damme plays a role of a former fireman Darren McCord tasked with spoiling the party of a group of terrorists holding the vice president and the entire stadium as hostage at the 7th game of the NHL Stanley Cup Finals. It may lack some of the wit of Die Hard, but Sudden Death makes up for it with superior action. Another Die Hard like movie set up in a plane is Executive Decision. In this flick, a not so soldier played by Kurt Russell stepped up to spoil the party of Islamic terrorists who hijacked an airliner with the intention to poisoning the Americans. Kurt Russell has to save the day when the super soldier's commando, Steven Seagal, is killed in an effort to save his team. Well, it won't be lie if I say this was my favorite movie in the 90s, or it still is. Skyscraper was released on the occasion of 30 years of Die Hard in 2018 and starred The Rock. The movie lived up to the expectation by offering nostalgic fans the perfect tribute to celebrate it with. Rock plays a former FBI agent and now assesses security of large building. While he is on assignment, the tallest building in China catches fire and he is blamed. Now he must find those responsible, clear his name, and somehow rescue his family members. You have to watch it to know it more. Take Die Hard in the safest building in the world, the White House, and you get an action packed thriller like Olympus Has Fallen. Gerard Butler plays the security personnel for the White House and found himself stuck in the White House while the terrorists take over. Now he has to save the president and counter the terrorist. The movie was so successful that it has two more sequels that releases later. So that's our list, folks. Please let us know if you missed any movies and share your love by hitting the like and subscribe button.